One man against a raging sea. A god consumed by wrath. A cursed journey with no end. A single trick sealed the fate of Troy. But for Odysseus, the real battle had only just begun. What if returning home meant facing monsters, vengeful gods, and 10 years of endless struggles? Today, I bring you the epic tale of Odysseus. No filters, no frills, just war, deception, and survival. For 10 long years, the Greeks laid siege to Troy, a war of gods and men, of heroes and kings. Yet, Troy's walls stood unbroken, its people unyielding, until one man, Odysseus, devised a plan that would change everything. A gift to the gods, they thought.
Men of Greece, for 10 years we have fought, for 10 years we have bled, and still the walls of Troy stand tall, mocking our strength, our valor, our sacrifices. But I tell you now, the walls are not only made of stone.
A symbol of surrender. And so, with cheers and laughter, the Trojans dragged the horse into their city. The war was over. Troy was no more. The Greeks had won. But victory comes at a cost. The gods have been watching, and some were not pleased. With Troy reduced to ash, Odysseus and his men set sail for home. But arrogance would be their downfall. I am Odysseus, king of Ithaca, and no monster shall stand in my way. During their journey, Odysseus and his men encountered the Island of Polyphemus, a mythological cyclops of immense power. With cunning and determination, the hero led the plan to blind the giant and secure a narrow escape for his crew. In that fateful encounter, to further confound the monster, Odysseus introduced himself as nobody. But the wounded Cyclops could not accept his humiliation. In the throes of agony and wounded pride, Polyphemus cried out, invoking the name of his father. Poseidon, Lord of the sea, avenge this insult. With those words, Odysseus sealed his fate. For the Cyclops was no mere beast. He was the son of a god, and Poseidon, god of the sea, had heard his cries. The gods do not forget, nor do they forgive. Lost alone and adrift on the endless sea, Odysseus' journey had only just begun. In a secluded grove, where nature itself seemed to whisper ancient secrets, Circe, an enchantress of unparalleled mystique, began to weave her potent spells. With every graceful gesture, shimmering trails of magic danced through the air, illuminating the darkness with ethereal light. As her spell took hold, the brave men of Odysseus, drawn by both curiosity and fate, began to change. Their human forms faltered under the weight of the enchantment. Confusion gave way to terror as one by one, they transformed before their very eyes into swine, creatures far removed from the men they once were. It was a moment of surreal horror and awe, a vivid reminder that in the world of gods and magic, nothing is ever as it seems.
Determined to learn his fate, Odysseus ventured into the realm of the dead. In this twilight land, where time stands still, he encountered Tiresias, the blind prophet whose words echoed with ancient truths. In a voice heavy with prophecy, Tiresias revealed the grim destiny awaiting him, the unyielding wrath of Poseidon, the dire warning against touching the sacred cattle of the sun, and the series of trials that would test his very soul. As the ship sailed into these enchanted waters, the Sirens' song, irresistibly seductive and deadly, filled the air. Bound to the mast, Odysseus endured the torment of their melody, a sound that promised forbidden wisdom and the end of all pain. Fighting against the pull of temptation, he clung to sanity and duty, ensuring that his resolve, and that of his crew, remained unbroken. In a narrow passage flanked by monstrous perils, Odysseus steered his vessel between Scylla and Charybdis, a choice where every moment held the risk of annihilation. As Scylla's many heads lunged and snapped at the ship, and Charybdis threatened to engulf it whole, terror and despair reigned supreme. The crew's cries mingled with the howl of the storm as the ship was torn asunder, each wave claiming the lives of brave men. In that moment of relentless fury, Odysseus was left to witness the devastation of his comrades, a harbinger of the trials yet to come. Yet fate's cruel hand was not yet finished. One by one, his loyal companions were lost to the curse cast upon the sacred cattle of the sun, their lives snuffed out like fragile flames in the wind. Cast adrift by a merciless storm, Odysseus found himself alone, an exile on a desolate raft. His heart ached with the weight of solitude, as destiny led him to the forlorn isle of Ogygia, where the enchanting Calypso would hold him captive for years. After years of hardship and exile, the gods finally extended their favor. Disguised as a humble beggar, Odysseus stealthily returned to Ithaca, a land overrun by impudent suitors who had exploited its riches and usurped his throne. In the midst of this corruption, faithful Penelope wove her intricate tapestry, a subtle act of defiance and hope, delaying the inevitable decision of remarriage with every thread. And in the shadows of his palace, Telemachus, now a man, recognized the signs of his true father, the legendary Odysseus, igniting a spark of reunion and redemption. Then, in a torrent of righteous fury and with divine strength, the hero unleashed an epic battle. Swords clashed and arrows flew as Odysseus reclaimed his rightful throne, restoring honor and order to his homeland. Thus, after confronting monsters, defying gods, and enduring endless trials, Odysseus emerged, a man molded by hardship, a hero in the eyes of some, and a seeker of destiny in the eyes of others. What do you think? Is Odysseus a true hero, or simply a man driven by an insatiable desire for power? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to check out the next video for more epic tales from ancient times.